Oh hey, it's me, Magic. Let me see, it's working. Today, story time. I'm gonna tell you a story about how one of my photos went kind of viral and how I used it in order to actually benefit from that momentum and what it brought me. It brought me a lot of stuff, actually. A lot of wedding clients, a lot of traveling, like actually all around the world. If you're curious about the photo, I'll show you right away. This is the picture. So let me take you back to that day. It's 2016. 2016, I was in Iceland for the first time ever. I have never been in Iceland before. And if you want to go to Iceland, I do have one last room available for my retreat in Iceland next month. It's going to be 4 nights in amazing lodge. The accommodation is included. We're going to have 2 days of shooting, 1 day of exploring Iceland. It's going to be epic, I promise. The link is in the description, and there's also a discount if you want to get the last room available. Okay, back to the story. So it's 2016. I'm in Iceland, my first time ever, and like we've been shooting for the entire day. This is the photos that we've shot during that day. And I've been actually on like a 4-day kind of wild trip because I've shot the wedding in France. Then I flew straight from France to Iceland. I shot one engagement session in Iceland. These are the photos from that engagement session. And then after this, I met with another couple. And this time we were shooting a wedding portrait pictures. And so I'm extremely tired, wet, cold. Again, we've been shooting for the entire day and night, actually, because it was a summer in Iceland, and during the summer in Iceland it's bright all day long, so it makes sense to shoot like really late at night. For example, this picture I've shot close to midnight. Okay, so it's just worth because like at midnight you have beautiful sunset and there's no people at any of the popular spots. So this is a little tip for those of you who want to travel to Iceland in summer. But back to that shoot, we are after all this shooting and we're in the car. And I'm so cold, I'm so tired. My couple is tired as well. And we stopped at the parking lot and I'm like, are we doing this? Maybe we're done. Are we doing this? And they're like, yeah, okay, maybe let's do it. So we kind of just like, slightly motivated each other to do it. It was like super windy. So we got out the car. It's like extremely windy. We get to the spot. I'm like, get close, start kissing, and I started snapping pictures. Back then, this was still DSLR days, and I had my Canon DSLR cameras, but also I had this Fuji X Pro 2, which was my first ever mirrorless camera, and this one could shoot, I believe, 10 frames per second, so I just like burst like with this little Fuji camera, a bunch of pictures, and that's how I got this one. And that's not where the story ends, because it does lead actually to the next part of this story, is about me publishing this picture. So I knew this picture is fire. It was like, outstanding kind of, you can see the black beach in the back, you can see the flowing hair, you can see the emotion, you can see the moment. So like, it's a great picture. So I submitted that picture to one of the contests, and back then like really popular contest was June Back Weddings best of the best photos, and the particular like contest that was actually happening at that time was best of destination photography, which like 100% made sense with this particular picture. And that's another tip for you guys. If you are thinking about submitting your photos to contests, there are kind of like 2 types of like these contests, because like there's a whole lot of them that are made for photographers. So like My Wed contests, Fearless Photography, these websites like are mostly for photographers, right? Like only photographers watch that. You can still use that. If you win award like this, you can still use that because you're award-winning photographer. Your peers, they like your work and so on. So that works as well. But June Back is slightly different because the June Back Weddings blog is meant for brides. And the whole idea with June Back Weddings is they post weddings, they post blog posts, they post stories specifically for American brides that are getting inspired by that. So that contest has like kind of like slightly different purpose, because the purpose of that at least for me, is not only to be award winning and be like, oh, I want something, but also to be seen by my potential future clients. So long story short, I get selected among one of the 50 photos that win the contest, because there's like 50 photos, the best 50 photos of the world, let's say, the best destination wedding photos. So I get selected. So I'm preparing myself to post on the day they announce the winners. I posted back in the day, that was Facebook. Facebook was the main platform, so I posted this on Facebook, and I was like, oh, I won this award with this beautiful picture, and I could see the immediate traction. I could see immediately comments popping and likes happening faster than the usual pace of these. So what I do next is I promote that post. I boost the post, because I feel like many photographers, what they're usually doing is that they try to boost something that is not performing well, thinking that maybe, algorithm is against me, I'm not being seen, so I'm going to boost this so more people see that. Sadly, the way it works is that if you're not being pushed, to be seen by your organic viewers, that means the post is just not good enough. Sadly, that's the sad truth. Maybe we think some of our photos are amazing, they don't get enough recognition in social media. Sadly, again, this means it's just not enough. It's not catching the eye enough, it's not good enough in the feed. But on the other hand, if something is performing really well and it's really good, you can boost that, because that means more people should resonate with that as well. You can also, that's another tip, if you have some photos, if you have some weddings that you've shot and you see that they performed way better than some other photos and some other weddings that you published, maybe make an ad advertising yourself, advertising your work, you as a wedding photographer, with those pictures. So always try to use the best stuff, the stuff that is best performing on social media for you, because that's the stuff that is resonating with the biggest audience, let's say. So that's what I did. I boosted this post, and I did not even spend a lot of money. I believe it was roughly $200, and the audience that I targeted for that promotion was engaged women aged between 20 and 40 in Warsaw, so where I live. I targeted local audience with that post, and it went crazy. It went insane. The post reached almost 1 million people on my Facebook and had 20,000 likes. I don't think I've ever had 20,000 likes or on anything. So that's still probably the record-breaking post for me. And it brought over 10,000 new followers. And all of these followers were potential future brides. And not long after that, I started receiving inquiries. The cool thing with Junebug is that because they're targeting a not specifically wedding photography market, but the brides and so on, they do try to get those photos featured in other publications as well. And back then, my photo actually landed on the top page of Huffington Post, which is amazing. It was published on brides.com and a couple other publications. Actually, it was republished on many Instagram accounts as well. But the cool part about that is that it crossed that threshold to and started being shown to regular people, not other wedding photographers. It was not it went outside of our little bubble, of our little niche, and that brought me not only more inquiries, but also a lot of contacts with those publications like brides.com. Then asked me a few more times later on for some photos, because they remembered my photo, my name, and that I've shot in Iceland and so on. And when they were preparing some other blog posts about traveling for weddings, they were asking me for pictures. I had inquired from Rangefinder magazine. That's actually for photographers, but that as well. And that single photo brought me over 15 weddings in Iceland. Can you imagine 15 weddings in Iceland? And then as well, I got to shoot a wedding in Los Angeles. I got to shoot a wedding in Vietnam. I got to shoot weddings in some crazy places. And because of that one picture, I got in touch with the wedding planners that right now are still hiring me for weddings in Italy because of that one. There's so many things, which is pretty crazy. You would agree. One picture can lead to that, but you see that all all the time these days on social media with reels. One reel, one, like extremely well made reel goes viral, and now the person is famous, is a celebrity. So I have a few more tips for you from that story. First of all, capture emotions. Like, emotions is going to be always more than just a regular portrait, just like people, being posed. If you get to find like more emotional moments, something that is just more meaningful, more, raw, that always gonna catch the attention. Then unique locations, that I feel worked back then. Now it works slightly less, but it is also a part of this. And when I'm saying unique locations, it doesn't have to be Iceland. It can be your actual hometown, which is regular for you, but can be really unique for someone else. Maybe there are places in your hometown, in your neighborhood around you that are, normal for you and for your neighbors, but can be really interesting and weird for anyone else. So think about unique locations. Then leverage the high engagement moment. So if you see something is going crazy, try to snowball it, try to spin it and make something out of it. Repost, maybe do a backstage, now we can have opportunities to make stories. Back then there was no stories. I couldn't tell a story about this. So now you could, make a behind the scenes talk about this, kind of leverage that moment. And then the last but not least, target the right audience. Like for me, for example, the audience shifted a lot, because now a lot of my target audience is you, wedding photographers, other photographers, because I'm in the education business now. I'm doing this YouTube. So aside my wedding photography work, I do talk to you guys. So I kind of, with my reels and what I do on social media nowadays, is kind of more shifting towards other photographers than towards bride and grooms. So always think about that. Always think about where is your audience, because I feel like sometimes we're repeating the patterns of other photographers and be like, oh, I'm going to do what he's doing. But then, he might be targeting entirely different audience. So yeah, that's the conclusion. Come with me to Iceland, take some epic pictures. But if not Iceland, I see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.